This is an instructional video on how to ready your Stage 2 tuned Mark V GTI for emissions inspection. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to this website, rostech.com, and download the appropriate software for the specific VADCOM cable that you're using. I'm using the microcan cable. So just go right there, click on microcan, download that software, and execute that file, and that will give you this VCDS program. So before you actually connect up the OBD2 cable to your computer, you want to make sure that you've switched your car into the stock tune. And to do that, this is using the APR tuning software. This car with Stage 2 has 3 tuning programs. The first is stock, the second program is 91 octane, and the third program is 93 octane. And the way you switch programs is by using the cruise control stalk. What you'll do, first you need to enter your security code as a 4-digit password. And the way you do that, you want to first start with the key in but off, and then go to your cruise control stalk and make sure it is switched in the off position. Then you want to turn the key to the on position. Don't start the car, just make sure it's in the on position. Go back to your cruise control stalk and turn it to the on position. Now you're ready to enter the 4-digit password. The way you do that is using the set button right here, and for each digit, you press the set button down the appropriate number of times. So if the first digit was 2, you'd click this twice. And then in between each digit, you want to rock your cruise control to off and then on, and then to the next digit. So for example, if your password was 1234, this is what you would do. You'd hit set once, off, on, 2, 1, 2, off, on, 3, 1, 2, 3, off, on, 1, 2, 3, 4, off, on. And when you do that last off, on switch, you'll see on your instrument cluster, the check engine light and the EPC lights will flash on and off. And that indicates that you're in the software and ready to change programs. Now, the way you switch programs is you use the set button. What you're going to do is hold it down and watch the check engine light, and the check engine light will flash a sequence of blinks indicating the program that you're in, 1, 2, or 3. So you'll see it blink 5 times slowly, just 1 blink at a time. That'll mean you're in the stock program. Then it'll blink twice quickly for a sequence of 5. That's your 91 octane. And then you'll see it blink 3 times quickly for a series of 5. And that means that you're in the 93 octane, or the Stage 2. So what you want to do to set it in that program, when it's blinking for the program you want, so for the 93 octane, wait till it is blinking 3 times for a sequence of 5, and release anytime during that sequence. So you release the set button there. So then the car should be in that program. The next thing you want to do is lock out the program, and you do that again using, this time you'll use the reset button. You don't actually have to enter in your password. So using the reset button, there's actually 3 different programs. The first one is fault code erase, which will erase any fault codes that are stored in the car, any check engine lights. The second one is throttle body alignment, and the third one is security lockout. That's the one we want to complete this. So much like the set button, to switch programs, you're going to hold down the reset button, watch the check engine light. Again, 1 blink for sequence of 5 is the first one, 2 blinks is the second one, and then 3 blinks is the one you want for security lockout. So release the reset button whenever that check engine light is blinking 3 times quickly for a series of 5 sets of 3 blinks. So that will lock the program switching. Now you're ready to turn on the car, and that means the car will be in that program that you've done. So again, stock for emissions readiness, you want to be in the stock program, which is the first one. So that's just one check engine light blink for a series of 5. Now that you've got the car on and the stock programming mode, you want to drive the car around a little bit, maybe 5-10 minutes, mix of city and highway driving, just to kind of get some of those readiness values quickly checked. But to speed up the process and get the final ones, this is where you want to go and use your VADCOM cable. So first thing you want to do, take your VADCOM cable and plug it into the OBD2 port, which is down here. And when you plug it in, it gets power. Kind of hard to see, but you'll see a little green LED light. And then you want to come over to your laptop, plug it into the USB 2 port. And let me bring it up here. Okay. Once connected, you want to bring up your VCDS program. First thing you want to do after connecting the cable is go to options, and then you're going to go to test. You want to make sure it's on the USB setting here. Hit test, and what you'll see for good connection, port status okay, and then the bottom here will say CAN okay. That means it's all connected. So say okay, and then save. And then the next thing you want to do is go to the control modules. So select that. And they're going to be dealing with the engine control module number 1 here. And then the first thing you can do is to check the readiness status, go to this readiness block here. And this will bring up the readiness. Now, since I've already set the readiness for this car in the stock engine program mode, everything's showing passed, but more than likely if you've just switched from stage 2, you're going to see some of these as failed or incomplete, probably the oxygen sensor and the catalytic converters. So in order to set those to ready to be able to pass your emissions inspection, you're going to go to this set readiness button down here. Right now it's grayed out for me since everything's passed. It doesn't give you that option, but if you're showing failed or incomplete, you'll be able to click there. Once you click on that, it'll give you a couple menu screens first, or not really menu screens, but instructional screens that give you the conditions the car has to be in before you can go into set the readiness. Some of the things are like the catalytic converter needs to reach a certain temp, 400 degrees Celsius, and a couple other things. And it'll give you instructions on where to measure those values. Those will be in measuring blocks. Which if you go back one, you're still in the engine control module. Go to measuring blocks here, and you just enter in the measuring block number here in a group and go. So for example, if I want to see the catalytic converter temperature, I believe it's block 46, hit go, and right there it'll show you the catalytic converter temperature. It's a little lower right now, 318. Needs to be above 400, so to get it there, just drive the car around a little bit, or kind of hold the revs up until it warms up. So once you've satisfied all these initial conditions that you need to run the tests, you can go back. Again, go into your readiness block here, go into set readiness, and then advance through the first 2 screens, and then you'll come to a screen where up at the top center here, it'll show basic settings, and then up right here there'll be a button for on, off, or next, and that's what actually starts the test. So when it tells you it's ready, you click on the on button there to turn the basic settings on, and you'll see that indicated right here. It'll say basic settings on, and then it'll give you instructions of what to do. Really all you do is you hold down the brake pedal, and then press the gas pedal down all the way and hold those 2 pedals throughout the remainder of the test. Now the car's not going to floor it or anything. The computer will actually control the revs that the car goes through for the various tests. You'll see it go up to like 2400 RPMs, hold it there, come back down, go to various RPMs. At one point it'll run up to about 5,000 RPMs and drop down. And that's it going through all the different tests that it needs to do. So just do that until the test completes. The way you know that, you'll see kind of 4 fields in the menu there. It'll have a step counter, then a status of your brake pedal and gas pedal, and the condition of the test. It'll say on the far right, it'll say hold, and while it's showing hold, that means continue to press the brake and gas pedal while it runs through all the various tests. The first field is a step counter. It usually starts somewhere around 17, depending on which readiness tests have already passed, and you're basically going to hold down those pedals until that step counter ticks down to 0. That indicates that it's successfully gone through all the tests. And after the end of a successful test, the far right field should say system OK or something like that, and then it'll instruct you to click off or next, and then you'll be done with setting readiness. So the first thing you'll want to do after it's done that is go back into this readiness screen and check to make sure that all the conditions have passed. If they haven't, I would turn the car off, start fresh, try again. If that doesn't work, just let the car sit for a bit, maybe cool down, try different starting conditions, maybe a cold car that's warmed up, or drive around for a bit. Sometimes it's a little finicky, but if you try it a couple times, it should work. All right, so that's it. Then go get inspected. All they'll do is plug in the OBD2 port for the emissions testing and check to see that all these are showing passed, and if they are, you'll be good to go from that standpoint. Then once you've got your inspection sticker and you want to go back into stage 2, it's just the same process of switching the programs here. Make sure you start with the car off,